just add that spice. Otherwise, it's vanilla bland and you just got a dead Discord. What is the point anymore? Hey, Danny from Axie Studio back again to give you a second dose of real and raw Axie Infinity reviews and thoughts. Now, today we're going to talk about scholars dropping from your guild. What does that look like? That looks like less chatter in your guild Discord server, less than half your usual SLP earnings, scholars DMing you saying they had to wash their goldfish and can't play. Name the reason, your gut probably picks up on it immediately that morale is low in your guild. It's low in my guild. We all know why. SLP is falling and it is less than a cent. I know the devs keep rattling on about long-term games with long-term people, but let's keep it real. Money talks, and you know the rest, right? So what can we actually do about it? Well, there are probably 6 things or 5 things. One is a bonus one that I've yet to try out. I've tried everything else, so it comes with practical knowledge and application. The 6th one, I will keep you guys posted, but I'll share it with you anyway in this video. Playing Axie Infinity is quite entertaining. I was pretty good at Clash Royale, still am pretty good at Clash Royale, and Axie Infinity is one of those games where that skill directly translates. But keeping it raw and authentic as I like to do, would I rather be playing Axie Infinity with no tokens and SLP and ability to kind of play to earn and cash out, or would I rather be playing something amazing like Counter-Strike or Heroes of Might and Magic 3? It's a pretty easy answer, right? So for those of you too young, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is a very old game, but it's going to last forever. Do check it out. Having said all that, what can we do, right? My overall underlying thesis is that we're still going to see a bounce unless new info comes out that changes my mind. In the meantime, there are ways you can manage and really adjust it such that we make sure we retain scholars and hopefully, fingers crossed, bring in new members. Now, I've got this screen loaded up here. I'm just looking at the official Axie Infinity Discord chat. They're still posting there that they want to be scholars. It looks a little bit less flustered and hurried, and a few less people than usual when I jumped into Axie, but nonetheless, people are still looking for scholarships and getting introduced into the game. Why are people leaving your guild then? Well, I think we need to take a hard look at that, right? Are your payment structures adequate, up to market? Your scholars engaged? Do they feel like they're valued, happy? Guys, we've got to look at this like it's some sort of organization. There's got to be some structure. I know you guys have it there, but there's always room for improvement. Okay, are we running events? Let's talk through each of the methods that I have explored that have worked to some extent to sustain my scholarship and guild program. Now, I had about 83. Unfortunately, I've lost 5, but I would say that's a pretty good retention rate during these times where SLP has fallen from 30 cents to 1 cent. It's a nice negative 30x. First things first, we need to look at the payment split, right? I started with 50-50. If you're running something like 70-30 where you get 70 and they get 30, it's just not going to cut it, mate. You need to look at what's market. Go on crypto Twitter. Everyone's running at least 50-50. A lot of people are being more generous doing 60-40 or 70-30. I have pretty good retention rate. Scholars in the Hyperion guild, they seem pretty happy, and they've gossiped about other places that are rubbish, and you don't want to be one of those rubbish people. So get to the 50-50, mate. Good benchmark to look at is if you just Google what is the average pay in the Philippines, not the lowest minimum wage, right? We're not going to play that game, but something average. See if you're roughly in benchmark for the amount of effort. We can do another video where I can go through this for you, but have a look at that in terms of just the raw split. Now, from the raw split, we're going to evolve into structure. Structure is where you have more scholars than you can manage. That's where it comes in handy, right? It's where you can get a bit more innovative. So with 78 scholars, probably about time as I push for 100 to start looking at it a bit differently and getting help in managing. I'm going to put in a new structure where essentially managers in the clan can earn a percentage of new scholars that come in, I know a lot of people do this already. I'm going to play with the splits to find it optimized, whether it's 10%, something reasonable, adjusted to market. That's something you can look at to make it work. Now, I've had a little bit of a morale boost from this. People are getting a bit excited on the idea, so I'll keep you guys posted on that one, which is looking a bit more promising. Another thing that has actually worked for me is loading up existing scholars with more Axies. I know this is a little bit getting into the gray zone in terms of Axie Infinity gameplay policies, but it's a bit different. I'm not hiding around Axies intraday so people can share energy and manipulate that. I'm literally rewarding the scholars that are staying around, that it performed well. They get more energy. I'm just going to leave it there. So I don't see how that's against any policy. That is literally, an organizational structural tactic. So putting that in place, the ones that do well, they can keep going. I mean, I'm pretty tied up on projects, so I can't even bear to play with my own Axies, and it's better used by them anyway. So I've got a handful, about 5 scholars that testing out, 40, 60 energy. They're doing much better than I could right now. A lot more intelligent on their plays too, and alert. So that's another way where you can be a bit more efficient during these times. What else have we got? We've got updating Axie teams. Now, if you've been running your same plant, beast, aqua for most of your scholars since you started and you've never looked at metas, nobody's got to turn me at all. It's time for you to look for metas so they can perform better in PvP. I think that's the route that Axie is going down, with the risk of adventure being almost eliminated, or SLP rewards from adventure being eliminated. PvP is going to be a big focus, so you need to make sure your scholars are properly equipped with the right Axies to win against others, particularly if I'm giving metas to my scholars. Let's have a look. I mean, a lot of people are running their Blue Moon, Cuckoo, Koi, Piranha, trying to get these loaded up. Arguably, they're a bit more pricey. It's 4x the floor price for ones that have already been bred, but they do get the advantage for a lot of the scholars, which means they're happier. When you win, you're just happier. That's just matter of fact, and then they earn more SLP. So you really need to take a good look at the teams that you have set up for your current scholars. It's going to cost you a bit more, but overall, if you're thinking longer term and you want to maintain and grow the guild, it's a necessary evil that you need to invest in. If you don't know what it is, your scholars are on top of it. They're talking, they're engaged in their communities as well. Feel free to ask. Go on YouTube. I'll post some more meta videos as we go along to help you guys as well. But there are various ways to find out. You need to put in time and dig into what are the metas at the time. On the other hand, be careful not to go too hard because balance changes do change what is in the meta. Lost for words there. Ugh. All right, moving on. Events. Now, ever since I started my Axie clan, I saw an absence of this. What it is you run events in your guild, right? Ability to earn extra bonus points. I had team events where people had, combined higher MMR. Whoever won that as a team would get extra bonus. They'd get 80% paid out instead of 50%. It gets the juices flowing, gets people engaged. Most of everyone in my guild right now is from the Philippines, except for me. Obviously, I'm from Australia with this dirty accent. But they enjoyed talking to each other and meeting new people, and you get paid for it as well. So you need to start being a bit more creative there. I've been running events every month or so, a bit more last year, and I need to kick it up because I just want to keep it creative. And when I say creative, think Squid Games without the crazy penalties for the scholars, obviously, but ways to make it fun and twists and turns that keeps people engaged. I mean, everyone likes a good game, which we're talking about games right now, right? So events add that extra layer, that extra flavor, just add that spice. Otherwise it's vanilla bland and you just got a dead Discord. What is the point anymore? Number 5, wait. Back to money talks, right? SLP under 1 cent. There's no way around it. But going to my first video, if you watch that, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that hopium, a good dose of hopium in me, that SLP will see brighter days. So if you have the luxury of waiting, wait. You can wait alongside me. Keep you guys posted on my thinking. Nothing much more than to hodl there. Okay, we're we're on to number 6, and this is the bonus one where I am thinking about. I might take a gamble. I will just talk about it openly right now, so don't take it as if I've tried it out. But it's a bit of a gamble. What you can do, and learn this by having virtual assistants as well, is you can just pay them a flat rate, right? You find the rate that actually works for them on a regular basis, and it basically alleviates their nerves. And the thing with SLP is it's great that they can ride it when it goes up, but then there's a risk on the downside. If you can cut that out for them, they will generate SLP for you on a consistent basis. You're taking the risk. You're basically making a loss in the short term, but taking a view that SLP is going to bounce up in longer term. This is by far the riskiest one on there, so I'm thinking about it, and I've got to do the math, and I might actually do it, because once that burning mechanism actually comes in and SLP jumps back to the levels we've seen it before, then you've made an investment in the shorter term here with more SLP. That's it. That's all number 6. Now it's I highly recommend you check whether you're doing all 6 in your guild, because I assure you having a 5 over 86, I can't even figure out turnover rates, but it's less than 10% turnover rates during these times. It's pretty darn good. If you're getting more than that, if you're half your clans or guilds dropping out, you really seriously need to look at what you're doing. And those 6 tips that I just recommended to you will go a long way to making sure this doesn't happen again, and you can prepare well in the future. All right, guys, thanks again. I'm trying to get the word out. You can drop a like and subscribe, or even just a like if you don't want me popping up in your face. That'll be super awesome. Thanks, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.